Doesn't it plague your mind? Why are we in the situation that we're in? And subhanAllah, this question comes into my mind all of the time. Because wallahi, we see it firsthand here in Syria. We see the results of our issues that are prevailing all across the ummah outwardly here in Syria. What am I talking about? How have racist comments in the UK, how do they have a link to what is taking place here in Syria and the oppression that's taking place throughout the whole Muslim world? And it's simple, my dear brothers and sisters. We have a sickness in our heart. And I tell you why that is. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it very clear. He says, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً. Verily, the believers are nothing but brothers. Okay? So if they dispute, make reconciliation between them. Make reconciliation between them. This is what we're ordered to do. Not make it bigger, not make it crazy. In a hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, the believers are like bunyan and marsus, and he put his hands together like this. This is how the believers are supposed to be. Not that when one person makes a statement, that we are waiting for that person's demise. SubhanAllah, disputes happen at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and especially pertaining to things like racism. Now, I am not justifying what brother Abu Ibraheem Hussnayn said, but I'm not happy to see him being exposed all over Al Jazeera and calling him a munafiq, racist, pig. This is also unacceptable. Now, racism is abhorrent, and so are the comments, the aftermath. My dear brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, كُونُوا قَوَّمِينَ بِالْقِسْطِ يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُونُوا قَوَّمِينَ بِالْقِسْطِ. O you who believe, be persistently standing up for justice, even if it's against yourself. Why? Because we need to speak the truth. And I say to you today that what brother Abu Ibraheem said was absolutely disgusting. He was ignorant on a matter. But we need to return back to what the Quran and the Sunnah to see, okay, what do we do now? Prophet ﷺ said in a hadith, Ansur akhaka and mazluman or mazlum. Support your brother or help your brother whether he is oppressed or the oppressor. And when the Sahaba asked him, how do we help him if he's an oppressor? He said, by stopping him from oppressing the people. So now if we believe the brother's made a mistake, our aim should be to give proper nasiha, not to call people horrible names. You know, subhanAllah, I'm watching the social media and you see two sides now. Two sides, Asians and black people. You got black people who are absolutely livid, and I agree with you. We should be upset and we should address the issues of racism. I, for one, will say there's 100% a lot of racism in the Asian community. As you guys know, I'm married to Raquel, who's from an Afro-Caribbean descent. And we had some of our own trials and tribulations. So I'll be the first one to speak about racism. But we have to be just. It doesn't justify people turning around and saying all sorts of crazy, nasty comments and causing more disunity. And then at the same time, we have Asian people who are justifying this nonsense. How can you justify the comment? The comments can't be justified. My dear brothers and sisters, this is ridiculous. Let's go back to the Quran or Sunnah, and I ask every single person who's watching this right now, if you haven't heard of Abu Dharr al-Ghaffari and the story of him and Bilal radiallahu anhu, go on YouTube and just type in the name and the story will come up. How did the companions deal with this? They didn't become two teams, blacks and Arabs. They didn't start beefing each other. They didn't start calling each other names. They didn't start talking all sorts of nonsense. And because of this sickness right now, wallahi, when I go on social media, I feel sick. Because I see sisters and brothers, they just slay each other. Black brothers, black sisters, Asian brothers, Asian sisters. We are one ummah. Unity. This is so important. Brotherhood. This is what this deen is about. Where's the husn al-dhan? We have no love for each other, and this is why today we see in the ummah People dying in Yemen, in Burma, in the Central African Republic, people being burnt for their religion, in East China, Muslims being forced to assimilate, in Palestine, in Yemen, in Iraq, here in Syria, all of these problems that we have, all of these disputes that we have, and the way we deal with them are resulting on the situation. They result and have an impact on the ummah, my dear brothers and sisters. Because we don't have that love for each other. We're not like this. We're not like this. We're waiting for the demise of each other. We're waiting to see a brother make a mistake. We're not making excuses for each other. We're not like the Sahaba. We're far from it. So my dear brothers and sisters, I want to end this video with what? Please go to the people of knowledge. Look at someone like Abu Usama Dhahabi Ustad. Someone of knowledge, what he has said on this topic. Look at what he says. He's balanced. Be balanced. Don't become partisan. Don't become one of the sides. Because we are ummah of the middle path. We're an ummah that's supposed to be united. And remember your actions. If you're going to write a status or you're going to write something and it's divisive, that is counterproductive, not just for you and your community, but for the whole ummah. Ramadan has finished. Ramadan has ended and shaitan has already come out and started causing whole heaps of fitna. I'm not justifying any racist comments that have been made. But I'm saying that people make mistakes like the Sahabi Abu Dhar al-Ghaffari. Me myself, being married to a sister of Afro-Caribbean descent, I've said silly things sometimes. And she has corrected me. But if my own wife had gone out and exposed me, what would it have resulted in? It's about dealing with stuff justly. We can't allow also certain people to start making comments and saying stuff like all Asians are Bani Ganesh. You know, the tribe of Ganesh and the mushrikeen, a'udhu billah. This also needs to be spoken out against. There are certain people making comments saying that Asians are sons of whores. A'udhu billah. What kind of nonsense is this? We don't cover an evil by doing another evil. So my dear brothers and sisters, if we really want to do something about racism in our communities, why don't we address this issue? Why don't we make a project? Why don't we do something that can help this issue rather than just talking a whole load of smack on the internet and making the situation worse? My dear brothers and sisters, please fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with your actions. Remember that when you post something online, it doesn't just stay with you. This goes to the apologists that are justifying racist comments and those people that are saying that there's no problem in the Asian community. And this also goes to the brothers and sisters who were offended and now have started to make all these lewd and crude and horrible comments. Be balanced, my dear brothers and sisters. Be balanced. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum.